And good morning on this Friday, the 7th of August, 2015. Time now for the Elder Law Report. From Shelby, North Carolina, here's Attorney Greg McIntyre. Good morning, Greg.
Morning, Bill. How you doing?
Doing great. Doing fine.
You fired up this morning?
I'm good to go.
I am fired up this morning. You know why I'm fired up, Milton?
I don't know.
Man, I stayed up late last night. I wish I stayed up preparing for the radio show, but I didn't. I'd be lying to you if I told you I did. I stayed up watching the debates. I mean, for the first time in a long time, you know, if Donald Trump's done nothing else, he's made the debates watchable. Or, you know, you want to look at it, right? Whether he's got substantive content to offer or not. But, you know, there's a lot of interesting things that came out at the debates last night. Did you watch the debates last night, Bill?
No, sure did not.
Did you watch them, Hayden?
Yes.
You did? Hayden, do you get into politics ever?
That was a leading question.
I'm asking.
I'm one of the Shelby Tea Party leaders.
You are? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So
you,
a lot that I liked and some that I didn't.
some that you didn't? Who's your horse in that race?
Well, if you take a poll of Tea Party members right now, you're going to get different answers. Right now, I think Rubio and Cruz, Carly Fiorina's coming on strong.
You think she's coming out of the second tier?
Yeah.
From the minor leagues? You think she's going to be called up to the majors for the next debate?
Yeah.
Maybe? And,
I just hope she gets an opportunity to debate with the others.
Sure. Regardless of if you're a Democrat, Republican, Tea Party, doesn't matter. I mean, you know, you're watching these things and just with anticipation, I guess, seeing what's going to go on for the 2016 presidential elections. So do you think anything stand out to you at the debates last night?
Well, there were a lot of things. I didn't feel like I hardly saw much of Ben Carson. I expected them to question him a little bit more.
Right. It felt scripted to me.
Well,
it felt a little scripted. Yeah, the debates, the whole thing, it just felt really scripted.
Do you think they prepped the candidates?
No, not just the candidates, but the questions. I thought the questions were all really super loaded.
Well, they aimed the questions to get the responses.
Right.
I think for entertainment value. So,
right. I got you.
Obviously, that's why Trump got so much.
Did Trump? Yeah, he got some. He took some heat last night, right? I mean, other candidates got serious questions. He got some zingers. He just got some attacks, right? But regardless, I mean, maybe he deserves it. I don't know. What do you think? Think he asked for it?
He has no social graces.
Right.
He doesn't hold anything back. And the comments he made about women, I mean, he's obviously a misogynist.
Okay.
And I think that's not going to go well.
Right. You think that's going to hurt him with women?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. And I'm just afraid that he's not going to agree not to run on the third party unless he's treated with respect.
Oh man, isn't that? I mean, talk about seniors and healthcare choices and just choices in general in a free country. Is that a fair system? If I go to the store and I only have 2 kinds of jelly that I can buy, is that okay? What if we limited everybody to 2 choices in life?
Well, the decisions would be easier.
Would it?
Yes.
Sure. That's what we maybe should do. We should just have 2 choices, make like 2 cars, Chevy, Ford, that's it. No other car dealers allowed, right? Nobody can run as a third party, right? We can't have like Toyota or Chrysler or anything like that, maybe?
You know, I'm a capitalist and believe in the free market system.
Free market. You believe in laissez-faire economics, don't you? Yeah.
I lean a little bit toward libertarianism sometimes.
Right. Well, thank you for being free and open with your political views. Those listening, that's Hayden Soloway. Hayden works with me and helps me do the radio show. Hayden is a force unto herself. And thanks, Milton, for entertaining us. Just piggybacking off the debates last night, talking about choices. You know, seniors had a big focus last night talking about Social Security. People over 50, concerned with going in, looking at Social Security. I was just reading a Forbes article this morning talking about Social Security and the debates last night. You know, there was an exchange between Huckabee and Chris Christie last night. Huckabee was noting that 60 million Americans receive Social Security and are dependent on it. A third of those 60, so 20 million Americans, are dependent on Social Security for 90% of their income. And it's scheduled, at the rate we're going, to be bankrupt in 20 years. And the question was, how are we going to protect it? How are we going to protect it? Anybody got any ideas?
Well, one of the things that has been suggested is to delay retirement age.
Okay.
And that's only going to give you so much time, though, because, at the rate they're finding out.
So people need to work until they're 95 years old now. Is that what we're going to do?
Well, I came out of retirement.
You did, yes, you do.
But
hopefully you have fun. You have fun with it.
Yeah, I
me,
do.
don't you? I hope you do. We have a ball.
We have a great team, and I am very proud to be working.
Sure, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And let's see. So that's one of the strategies is just make it where people essentially, have to work forever. Or what means testing is what was thrown out last night on stage. Okay, that's what I think Christy was talking about. Is that means testing? I'd start. You know what means testing is, Milton?
No.
When you means test any benefit, you say, okay, what means do you have? What are your means? Have you accumulated assets? What asset level are you at? Do you have a house? What's it worth? Do you have money that you save for in retirement? How much? And based on those answers, they talked about means testing my VA benefits. We've heard that come up. In fact, I got a letter from the VA last year asking me, they said it was just routine, but they wanted to know my household income. They wanted to know the assets that I had. Because I'm a veteran who served during a wartime event, I get VA health care. So the only thing that I can think of, and they've talked about this too, they've started putting us into tiers, okay? Like some veterans that served during wartime are maybe more serious and deserve more benefits than others, okay? And they've also, so means testing would be, okay, if I've worked very hard and become successful and accumulated a few things, then they wouldn't give me the benefits, or they'd lower the benefits that they gave me. Same with Social Security. If you work extremely hard during your life in a laissez-faire capitalist system and you do really well, does that person put more into the system or less?
Well, it's a socialist point of view, and the government.
That's a bad word. Socialist point of view.
Do you disagree?
I don't disagree at all. I totally agree with you.
You all work hard and do a good job, but some work harder or are more fortunate and have more, so now we can't get it and the others can. I mean, that's socialism.
So essentially, the person that puts the most into the system, into Social Security, into the pot, throws the most in the kitty, gets to take the least out of it because they've accumulated some things during their life. That just seems fundamentally unfair to me. Unfair and unbalanced.
You have to give up yours to somebody else.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Doesn't seem fair at all. So that's what they're talking about doing to salvage the system. Let me ask you this. Why would the system be in trouble? Why would Social Security, by the way, I'm Greg Mack. Let me take a pause for a commercial break. I'm Greg Mack. We'll now pause for a commercial break on Big O Country, 1390 WOHS. I'm Greg McIntyre with the Elder Law Report. I've got Hayden Soloway here with me, and Milton. Milton is always here, making sure the station runs correctly. Glad to be here. Call in if you have any questions, 704-482-1390. If you have any questions regarding Social Security, have any comments on the debate last night, any comments on, in general, that you want to offer, I don't care if they're good, bad, or indifferent. I'll field them and I'll give you my honest answer back. And I think I'm a big boy. I think I can handle it. So what we're going to get into talking about here in a second is beat the odds. Don't let the government take it all. That's where we're going with this. Is do you trust the government? Do you trust our politicians? Why is Social Security bankrupt? Why, if you make money and work hard during your life and you put the most into the system, do you start getting means tested and have the inability to take your fair share out of that system? It's wrong, and it shouldn't happen. Was that politically correct? I don't think I'm politically correct either. I'm going to say what I mean.
It depends on which team you're.
Which team I'm playing for? Okay, there you go. All right, so why is the system bankrupt, do you think? Hey, you got any ideas?
Well, there never was a lockbox.
There never was a what? There wasn't a lock on the system? Who's running the system?
Lockbox.
Did you
Social Security's in a lockbox.
Did you take a bunch of money out of that system?
No, I am.
You're taking some, but your fair share, correct?
That's what I qualify for.
The politicians have robbed that system.
Yeah.
Call it what it is. They've robbed it over the years.
Taking it out of the lockbox.
Does anybody, Milton, do you have a choice to pay Social Security?
No.
It's taken out of your check. You don't have a choice to do that. It's taken out of your check. And a ton of money's dumped in a kitty that's presided over by our politicians that robbed the kitty. And then you can't take the money out. It's wrong. And who suffers? Seniors suffer. And my fundamental driving force for my practice is to stand up for seniors, to make sure that their assets are protected, and that they have the best health care and income and control their assets, as many options as possible in their retirement years and in their later years.
So you're building them a lockbox. Check.
I'm going to put the lock on your box. That's what I'm going to do. The box that holds your assets and income, I'm going to build the lock. That's right. I've got tools for the job that can help lock up those assets. That's what we do. That's exactly right. And other things. While I'm at it, I'm going to give a shout out. I'm going to say hello to Glenn and Melinda Reed from Kraus. Glenn and Melinda, I think they know who you are.
Yes, I've known them for years. Absolutely.
And I was supposed to tell them age isn't anything but a number, okay? It's not, right? I won't say why I'm giving the shout out, but I promised them I would, okay? And they're regular listeners,
Okay.
and listen all the time. So age isn't anything but a number. Why should you start thinking about, hey, you've worked hard. You buy a house. At some age, what the prevailing wisdom? How about the common question I get all the time? Should I go ahead and give my house to my children? Should I give it away? Mm-hmm. Why, at a certain age, do you shift to start trying to give everything away? Why should you do that? Just so you can avoid some means test the government has set in place for Social Security, which is coming down the road. Trust me, McIntyre Elder Law will have a means testing wing at some point in the near future to help clients protect their assets and still receive their full share of Social Security. I can tell you that right now. Other attorneys that are listening, start getting ready for it, okay? That's where we're going, all right? And that's going to be an entirely different, separate practice area for us. I started writing about means testing several years ago. The first newsletter I ever wrote and sent out to clients was about means testing. An entire, it's like a 4-page, bifold thing.
You say something that's interesting to your clients. You tell them to keep control of the house. That is
Not just the house.
Well, just
I didn't
in
mean to
terms of
interrupt you.
leverage.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I didn't mean to trump you. Go ahead. Please continue.
No, it's as long as you have control of the assets, then there is a little more respect for you from your children if you can make distribution of those assets and still have control.
I say you want leverage, okay? You want to keep leverage, right? You want to keep leverage and you want to keep control of your assets. And I say son and daughter are nicer to mommy and daddy, whether they want to admit it or not, when mommy and daddy have control of all the assets, okay? We all want people we can trust to give our property to, but you want to keep control of that property and only let go of it when the last one of you passes away, last one of the husband and wife. How about that?
Well, I've spent 11 years.
You have a call, Milton?
Yeah, Leonard, you want to finish her?
Oh, go ahead.
I spent 11 years working for attorneys, and families came in, and the behavior of the children after the parents passed away, and the way they treated their parents when their parents no longer controlled their assets was very surprising in some cases. Some like yours and mine, that would never happen, of course, but
it's like just blood in the water to sharks sometimes. When you add the money in there, it just, sometimes people go after it.
That's right.
Let's see, now, whoever it was, Greg, they hung up. They may not have been calling for the show, but if folks do want to call for the show and talk to Greg or Hayden here, our numbers are our regular numbers for contests, swap shop. Anytime you call the station, same numbers, 704-482-1390. That's in Shelby, Cleveland County. Lincoln County area, 735-8071. Cherryville, Gaston County area, 435-2844. Feel free to call in your number. Let's see if they're... Hello, are you calling to talk to Greg? Okay. Hey there, is this Big D? Okay, Big D, you're on the air with Greg and Hayden. You're on now.
Big D, what's up? Hit me. Is this a hypothetical or an actual? Hypothetical? Okay, got you. Hypothetical. Go ahead. Wife already passed away? Wife already passed away? Okay. You know, I've got a lot of questions there. First, is the wife already passed away? Understood. Okay, I'm going to call this My Two Sons, okay? Great show. Or is that My Three Sons?
Mm-hmm.
My Three Sons. Yeah. All right. It was a great show. Absolutely. All right, so the question is, you know, I assume you said lawyer comes in, signs a new will 2 weeks before the man passes. Does it trump or change the other will, correct? I keep using the word trump this morning. Well, I don't know why that is. So, does it trump the other will? Is that your question?
Yes.
Maybe. Is the man competent?
But see, he said duress.
How's he under duress?
He died with probably 2 weeks later.
Okay. Is he on medication?
Yes.
Heavy meds. So I think, you're questioning competence. That's essentially where you're at, okay? You're saying, is this...
Actually got cancer, and he's taking chemo.
Yeah, but, you know, I know plenty of people who have had cancer or have cancer and are still... Just because you have cancer doesn't mean you can't make smart or good decisions, okay? Right? He's on payment. You know, those things, when you start challenging competence, that's what you're talking about. Is you're talking about saying, you know, he had some psych meds or some nervous system affecting meds, something that affected his decision-making ability, and he was not competent or capable of making an informed decision at that time. Okay?
You have 2 sons, and what the one son does is have him put him in the
Understood.
He can do that.
I have 2 sons. I actually do have 2 sons. And what the one son did is have the other one. Yeah, but here's the thing. Of course, they did it, right? It's done, right? In your scenario, it's done. An attorney came in and did that with one of the sons. Does that make it right? No. Does that make it legal? No.
It does make it legally.
But here's the caveat to that. And caveat's a great word there. That's what you need to go after, is file a will caveat suit. If that son goes and tries the new will, tries to probate the new will, and you or the other son, whoever it is in this scenario, has a problem with that will, then you have a legal recourse and remedy. And that remedy under the law is to go and file a will caveat suit at the courthouse and get the doctor in, get the nurses in, subpoena the go through discoveries, subpoena the prescription med chart. What was he on right then? Let's hear the testimony of all the faith. Against the will, that's correct. It's called a will caveat. And what you're going to do in that situation, what the other son, for instance, that's being cut out, okay? What the other son would do that's being cut out is say, look, this is wrong. It was wrong because Daddy didn't have his wits about him when he signed this. He did. Now, let me tell you what the law school definition, essentially, of competency in that situation to sign a will is. I found very radio there. It is essentially that you have a moment of clarity or a clear time where you know what you're doing and sign the will. Somebody can sign a new will or legal document even if generally they're out of it, if they come back into it. You know, some people fluctuate back in and out, especially people that are going in senility or on medication. Sometimes they'll be with it, sometimes they won't. So all those things come into play. The real question is, and I want to hone you in, I want to focus you. Go ahead, sorry. Okay.
But this is someone else, and that's why I'm trying to
Sure.
have a little bit of
The specific question when we target in on a legal problem or issue, you want to target it on a specific issue. The specific issue is competence, and whether at the time he signed the new will, he knew what he was doing, he was aware of it, he was competent, and he willingly did it. Okay? That's the specific issue. And if if someone in that scenario, that is something that that someone who handles contested will and probate cases can do for you. Okay? In my opinion, yeah, you want a killer in that situation, by the way. Okay? You want somebody who can come in and has courtroom experience to take care of that. All right?
Absolutely.
All right.
And you know the bad thing about it doesn't really have to be that way. It should be both of them.
Yeah, and if we all held hands in perfect harmony, we wouldn't have politics or lawyers. Might be a better world. All right? Yes, sir. Thanks, Big D.
If he wants to stay, if you want to stay online, you can. If you want to hang up, you can. But I found the one thing he said, and I wasn't really sure what he meant by that was the word duress. Where is that?
Oh, very good. Yeah, in a criminal term, duress, it means really somebody's got a gun to your head. Okay, right? But I think in his term, duress, and what he's going to be showing, and that could be a factor, okay, in determining competence and his willingness, that willingly signing the will and knowingly signing the will and signing that document. You're going to try to show that, look, this guy was under duress. That was a factor in him signing, okay? And would a judge listen to that? Is that a valid legal argument or factor? Absolutely.
That's what I'm thinking. That I think that's the real legal argument there, and I think that's
Right.
Great question, Big D. Thank you.
Thank you, Big D.
All right.
Now, let's see. We got another call coming in here, Greg. If you're ready for another
I'm always
question.
ready.
Are you calling to speak to Greg, please? Hello? Did you call to speak to Greg? Oh, okay, Nadine. I'll get with you on that in just a little bit later. We're doing a
Happy birthday, Nadine.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, just call us later, dear. Okay. Do you have any questions about any legal questions? She's gone. She hung up. But she's got a birthday coming up.
That's great.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
So, and that goes into my age is nothing but a number thing, okay? Just because you have a few more birthdays than I do doesn't mean, well, at what age? Let me ask you this, Bill. At what age do I need to give, under the governmental system we live under, and the healthcare system we live under, at what age do I need to give away all my property?
So we talk about this sort of 62 to, no, it's 5 years. Something, I don't know.
Hey, I'm shaking my head. I'm leading. That's a bad question. I can ask some tough questions.
Yes,
I'm sorry. But the answer is never, man.
Okay.
Ever, never, ever,
Yeah,
ever
yeah,
is there a good age when you're supposed to give away all your property. If that's the question, we need to change or if that's the answer, then we need to change the question. We need to change the rules. That's a ridiculous scenario. That the people that, and when I was talking about Social Security, you'll see a parallel in long-term care Medicaid there as well, which is heavily means tested. Okay? So you get hurt. You get hurt for contributing tons of tax dollars during your life into that system. And then having this, and paying 3 times as much to the bank as your house is actually worth. When you borrow $100,000, you don't pay $100,000 back. You pay like $250 back with the interest. And then you have to get it taken away at the end of your life because you needed long-term care and didn't have enough funds, or it spent all your funds down at $60,000 to $100,000 every year. And then you got to give your house up too, just to get back the money you paid into the system in the first place.
Well, it doesn't have to be that way.
It's not. It does have to. If you prepare ahead, if you plan ahead, it can cost pennies, fractions of pennies on the. What's the Chinese currency?
Yen?
No, that's Japanese, isn't it? Japanese, the yen.
Chinese.
Does anybody out there know?
It can cost fractions of a yen, right? To fractions of a dollar, all right, whatever we're going under. To actually plan ahead and protect everything that you have. Okay.
Well, let me bring this up. You're talking about birthdays. A week from Sunday will be my birthday.
Right.
I'll be 54. The older I get, the more, you start getting, but you're getting closer and closer every day to your elder years.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. Yeah,
right.
if you don't get hit by a truck.
If you're lucky.
Something doesn't major catastrophe happen.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, but as we do get older and you know, if you haven't put much thought into what's going to happen every day, you're getting just a little bit older, and those 50s will get here on you pretty quick.
I mean, you know, I can't believe I am as old as I am. Okay, I feel like I'm 25, but I've got, you know, I'm a little older.
Well, my body doesn't, but my mind, in my mind, I still feel like
I'm
20
40.
something.
I'm 40 this year in my mind. That's right. I'm 20 something in my mind. There's no doubt about it. But there's no reason that I should get to an age. I have these questions from clients all the time. This is one of the main questions. Should I go ahead and give away all my assets right now? I mean, I can't believe that that is actually the situation we have put seniors in this country, where they think about, should I go ahead and give away all my assets right now to my kids?
But now I know the answer to that question.
You do not have
you
to
do not
do
have
that.
to do that.
No, you don't. You can use tools like ladybird deeds, life estate deeds, and other, and trust, and other proper planning tools to control your assets. Sometimes not during your life, but even after you're gone, to make sure your grandkids go to college and that they're well taken care of.
We got about 4 minutes, and you've mentioned that word since our very first show, and the very first interview we did with you before we started doing the show, when Sandy and I interviewed you. You mentioned that ladybird deed. I had never heard that term. I don't know if a lot of our listeners have.
I have a lot of people that are interested in that term. Okay, it's really technically called an advanced life estate deed. Mm-hmm. Nope. So with a traditional life estate deed, I may put my children down as a grantee, and I reserve a life interest for my wife and myself. We reserve a life interest for ourselves in our home. The problem is we give away our power of appointment. Mm-hmm. So in order to convey that property, the kids have to come in and sign that deed for me to sell it, mm-hmm. or for me to grant a deed of trust to the bank to mortgage it. With a ladybird deed, you don't. You reserve the right to still mortgage the property 100% yourself, without your kids coming in and signing off on that deed of trust, or sell it. You retain total 100% control. Mm-hmm. And under the Medicaid rules, for assisted living Medicaid, which is a 3-year look-back period, and long-term care Medicaid, which is a 5-year look-back period, for them to pay for long-term care or assist with those payments. A ladybird deed or an advanced life estate deed is not looked at under that 5-year look-back period. Mm-hmm. It's not taken into account. So what I say is it builds a brick wall of protection around your property right now. It's the tool for the job around your home.
Box.
That's your lock. That's right. It's in your lockbox. And it allows you to control what happens to it 100%. You can still sell it, mortgage it, do whatever you want to with it. You can rest assured that it's not going to go back to the government, no matter what your health care needs are, and that you're going to keep it in the family. I like to think that's because North Carolina is shifting to a more retirement-friendly and senior-friendly state. Okay? That's my hope. And those are allowable right now under the rules. If you get one right now under the rules, and the rules change in the future, which, if there's one thing I can promise you, is change is constant, depending on the political party in control. And the pendulum swings to the left and to the right. It's always going to happen. So if you got one now, it would be grandfathered in under the rules because it's legal right now. Okay? So that's essentially, in a nutshell, I hope I explained it well, what a ladybird deed is it protects the property, keeps it in your family.
And that could be for any single, married, widowed, anybody really that has a home of their own.
It doesn't have to be a married couple. You could be a single bachelor that was a lone wolf. You're like Lindsey Graham his entire life. Okay, that's what Lindsey Graham says. I'm a lone wolf. Right? Yeah, you could be that guy, and it still applies to you. What you worked hard for as a citizen of the United States should not be taken away from you any more than a married couple's or a young person's thing that they work hard for. So,
folks, it looks like the time's about to run out on us, but before you go,
let me tell you first, okay? And you guys who don't know, listen at home. I was trying to pull Milton into a political conversation, which he will not get involved in. Right?
30 years on the radio, I'm not going there.
But people love politics. Everybody, it's fun. It's fun. And I appreciate you, Milton, for putting up with our political discussion this morning and talking about benefits and maybe ways to plan correctly and and talking about reasons why that, from my point of view as an elder law attorney dealing with seniors every day, that I don't think our system is necessarily set up the way it should be. Okay, but we try to help as much as possible.
Now, question I have:
Sure.
calling the office, still doing the code word?
Always.
Oh,
I
okay.
love the radio listeners. We have a great group of listeners and fans out there. Meet with you every day. Call my office, McIntyre Elder Law, at 123 West Marion Street. As easy as 123 West Marion Street. In Shelby, it's 704. The phone number, 704-259-7040. Code word radio. Okay? Code word radio. And I'll meet with you for as long as it takes to make sure that you have everything in place that you need to put that lock on your lockbox and protect your hard-earned money and property.
And I know you had an ad in the last WhatsApp Shopper. Is it in this go-round? But I had a great ad in the last WhatsApp Shopper.
Love writing the article. Essentially, it's an article that I write every couple of weeks in the WhatsApp Shopper. It's about a half-page article. This week, we have in there a long-term care planning workbook that allows you to use our forms to consolidate all your. You got to know what you have to take inventory of what you have, and then set your goals. That workbook will help you do that. If you call our office 704-259-7040, we'll mail you out a planning workbook. Okay, email it to you or mail it out to you. Be glad to do that.
All right. Thank you both, Hayden.
Thank
Great,
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill.
We
All
enjoyed
right.
it.
And we'll be back next Friday.
Yes, sir.
Right here.
Next Friday, same time, same place.
Elder Law Report. We'll see you then, folks. And join us Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for the Community Profile program in this time slot. We'll see you then.
Good job, man, as usual. Great job.
Choked up. Been getting choked up all week.